and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name's Zoe and I'm so excited to be here, and I'm excited you're here too. For my first ever video, we're going to be doing an entryway makeover. If you like this video, please consider subscribing down below. The support would mean the world to me. Also, like this video and leave a comment down below. I would love to talk to you, hear your thoughts and opinions on the makeover. I'm actually filming this on the very last day of the makeover, so I already know how it turns out, but I want to know what you think of it. So definitely leave a comment and let's have a little chat. But without further ado, let me show you the befores. My husband and I live in a pretty builder's grade standard condo in Chicago, so there's really not a lot of personality besides what's already been painted by previous tenants. So we're gonna repaint, change the hardware, and add function in the form of shelves with hooks. So the first thing we did was paint our trim black. I was about to sand this off and I just wanted to take a minute to touch base with you guys because it might be kind of confusing if the next footage you see is of me sanding this hole right here that I've patched with no explanation. I took off the hardware because I'm planning on replacing these, and I actually want to replace them with long bars, and I actually want to move the bar over a little bit more to the side. So A, we're replacing it with a dual mounted hardware, and B, not in the same place as the original hardware. So it would be really weird if I didn't fill it because there would just be a hole in my door with no hardware. So to avoid that, this is the solution. So you're gonna see me next sanding all of this down just to make it even and kind of prepping the doors to make sure they're ready to paint, and then we're gonna paint them. And I'm so excited for them not to be this disgusting dingy white anymore. They're gonna look so good and I'm really excited. Of this area. I didn't think about how I was gonna get this open again. That was easier than I thought it was gonna be, but I really did not think about that at all. After sanding, it's really important that you wipe down the surface with a cloth, usually a damp cloth if you can, just to remove any particles before you paint. So that's what you see me doing here. Guys, it is finally time to paint over this ugly color. If you love this color, totally fine, to each their own. I think it would be fine, just not here, not for what we're going for, and it does not look good with the gray. So I'm so excited to paint over it, so it is finally time! One thing to note about repainting your entire space, especially when you're painting it from a dark color to a light one, or in this case, white, is that it's gonna feel really jarring at first. I've repainted places in my house before and at first thought I hated the new color or hated the way the direction was going, and I think that's why it's so important to wait until the entire project's done, you've styled it, and then decide how you feel about a color. That said, sometimes you do know it's wrong when it's wrong, but generally it's gonna look worse before it looks better. So might as well stick it out with the paint color you chose and just really make sure if you think it's not the right one before you go repainting it all when in reality it may have been fine. So here's the entryway at present. You can see I've taken the outlet covers off this section of the wall because this is the only section of the wall I didn't finish yesterday when I was painting. Everything else got finished. It is such a crisp white. It's kind of crazy to look at for me. I'm still trying to figure out if I like it. But I think it's too soon to tell. I think I need time. I need to see it come together and then we can decide. Right here, actually, I used to have a mirror, a really big mirror, and it's going to be going back up there to kind of cover this electrical unit. And then we have, right over here, please excuse our mess, it is so messy in here. We have this long board, and this is like a 4x6 of poplar that Ethan picked up once upon a time. Don't ask me why it's wrapped in plastic. I digress. I don't want to talk about it. This is going to go kind of like, okay, can I do this one-handed? Like so, here on the wall, right under the mirror. So this is gonna be like a little shelf. So that's one thing on the docket, stain the shelf. Other thing on the docket, number 2, is I ran out of paint. And this definitely, desperately needs a second coat. You can kind of see that there's like parts of this that don't look quite as white as like everything else. So this needs a second coat, so I need to actually go pick up more paint. And then I also want to show you guys, we have this kind of like outlet cover where it's got these screws in it, which is like very standard, like very builder's grade. And I was talking to Ethan, I think it'll be easiest for us to replace these room by room, and since we are going room by room in our apartment and getting things done, I think it would be smart to just replace these now instead of having to do it all of them all at once. And in our entryway we have this one that I just showed you, that one right down there. So that's only 3 that need to be replaced. I don't think I'll ever be able to say this enough, but switching out your outlet and light switch plate covers with screwless versions really is about the easiest update you can give any space in your home. Here I'm hanging a collage print that I got from Target. I think it was like $30. And it's just gonna help show the height of the ceilings by adding height over the bench. And here I'm noticing that it's actually crooked. So just know, you might not always get it right the first time. And that's okay. I actually ended up, here you see, rehammering. So it's okay, don't be hard on yourself. Waiting for one of the coats of paint to dry, because it actually took 3 coats to cover that dark color on the back wall, I went and stained our new shelf. I'm actually staining this in a color I believe called Aged Walnut. I thought it looked best with our floors and the door. But I kind of am just living with the fact that there's going to be numerous wood tones, and if I tried to match, it would look like I tried and failed, so I might as well just go with one I like. So our trusty Doge, who's gonna help. We're gonna hang the shelf, which I'm excited about. Okay, so you were asking me where I wanted the shelf. I don't think I ever even mentioned. You guys want it? Well, can I grab it and we can kind of help me? Okay.
So I just put a mark on the wall,
Okay.
1.5 inches, because earlier we discussed doing 1.5 inches off this one.
Okay. Yeah.
38 inches. Awesome.
We have a plan.
The first thing Ethan's doing to get this shelf to function is he's adding the hooks that I picked out. So how he's doing that is he actually found the center point for where the hooks were going to be hung, and now you see him here marking off where each of them are going to go. Next, he takes a drill bit and he lines it up with the screw that he's using to put in the hooks to make sure he gets the right drill bit size in order to pre-drill all of the holes that we're going to need to add the hooks. Once he pre-drills all the holes needed for the hooks, he's able to go back through and add the hooks and drill in the screws. This just helps make sure that the wood's not going to split and to make your job a little easier. After completing the shelf and adding all the hooks, Ethan then went to find all of the studs in our wall. The reason this is important is A, normally you want to drill into studs, so it would be important to know where they are. In this case, we were actually planning on using drywall anchors, so we needed to make sure that we weren't going to accidentally try and put a drywall anchor where there's a stud. We are actually using metal drywall anchors because we've found that they actually work a lot better than the typical plastic kind. One thing to note about hanging something large and heavy like this, especially if you're not drilling into a stud, is you want to alter the points that you're putting your drywall anchors in. So you don't want them all to be in a straight line. Instead, you want one to be a little bit higher, then one lower, then one higher, then one lower. Basically, you're creating like a zigzag pattern, or in this case, triangles, because that's the strongest shape.
I'm good here. So is Dexter. We're good here. And here.
Oh my god. So now that the shelf is up, which, thank you, Ethan.
You're welcome.
Now that the shelf is up, all that we have left to do is final touches. So I will see you in the morning for some final touches.
To style the bench, I am laying down a faux fur that I got at IKEA, a simple fall pillow. This is just to add some texture. Texture adds visual interest to your space and just makes it feel a little bit more lived in and cozy. Next, I'm adding a stack of books to the bench. This is going to add height for the plant that I'm adding next. The reason you want to add a plant or some sort of greenery is to include some life in your design. It really makes the space feel a lot fresher. Lastly, I'm pairing in some sanitizer and a vintage tray that I thrifted. To complete this area, I'm throwing in a bin of our masks and a little notebook for any last minute jots or lists. Sunglasses always seem to get lost, so I'm hoping with this little shelf it'll be easy to grab and go. I'm keeping things simple with the hooks and just adding my bag because this is going to be primarily for bags instead of coats. Last of all, I'm putting Dexter's leash on this adorable dog butt hook that we got from IKEA. And with that, it's time for the afters.
Alright friends, that is it. Both the first video and the end of the entryway makeover. I am so happy with how it turned out, and I really want to know what you guys thought as well. So please leave a comment down below. What do you think of the palette? Is there anything you'd do differently? Please fill me in. I want to hear your opinions and I want to have a chat with you. Also, if you like this idea and this content, I have so many other rooms in my condo, and I would love for you to join me in making them over. So go ahead, hit subscribe. There's also going to be some lifestyle content, a little bit of sustainability / conscious living. So if that sounds like something you might be interested, I am super excited for you to come with me on this journey. And last but not least, if you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Give it a like. Let me know that you enjoyed it. All right, friends, that is all. So until next time, I'll see you later.